All right, everybody. We got a week two matchup: Ellimist versus Nards. Ellimist plays Protoss and Nards Terran, as you can see from the screen here. Um, should be an interesting matchup. I think both players lost their first round matchups, so um, just seeing how this plays out will be interesting. The first map is Shattered Temple, a little PVT here. You can see the close spawn, close positioned by air. It's not too close by land though. We'll see if that comes into play at all. Definitely helps the Terran if he wants to drop.
Just such a short distance between the two bases that drop play can actually be really good in this case. Put up the production tab and the supply count so you can keep track, play at home. I think we have actually everybody in the league is watching this match right now. Actually, so I don't know if anyone's gonna watch the cast or not, but oh well, I'll record one anyway. It's no problem. See the scouting probe coming out for Ellimist here. No wall for Nards, and Ellimist going to find him immediately. See Ellimist throwing down his first gateway. Just standard timing here. And the barracks going down for Nards. So, not really too much to know yet. We'll see if who starts taking gas first, and that should indicate attack pattern here. And we do see Nards taking a gas immediately. So if my guess is correct, he'll go for a tech lab and concussive shells, and try to get out a couple marauders just so he can slow down any stray Protoss units he finds and kill them. And we see Nards getting 2 gateways out. Not opting for cybernetics core at this point, so a little bit non-standard here. We'll see how this works out for him. We see that Nards hasn't found Ellimist's base yet, so that plays into Ellimist's advantage. Hopefully he'll be able to get out enough defense to not let the SCV in at all, and Nards will not have any idea what he's up to. And we do see Ellimist on his first gas here. Nards still on 1 gas. Just pumping out a couple Marines first. No sign of a tech lab at all. We do see Nards going for the orbital command, so that'll be good. He'll be able to get mules down, which will help his mining quite a bit. There's just a small time window when you're not be able to produce SCVs, but just 1 mule pays for itself in that case. We do see the SCV get in. That Zealot's way too slow to stop SCV, so Nards is going to be able to do all the scouting he wants to. He's going to be able to see the whole base of Ellimist, and he is going to see that there's no tech lab at all. Cybernetics core at all. So you might find that interesting. And looks like here, yeah, we do see the cybernetics core going down, but not making use of those 2 gateways early on at all. So it might be a little less cost efficient, but looks like Hrothgar calls first blood against Nards' SCV. So we do have a little bit of action there. You see Nards getting a 2nd barracks, 3rd barracks. So it's going to be a lot of infantry. I won't be surprised to see some sort of add-ons to these. He has quite a bit of gas built up, so I'm not sure what he's saving that for. And we do see the first mule come down. He is chrono boosting out Warp Gate in this case. And he has a forge, and he's upgrading shields. So he's going to be taking advantage of that shield upgrade immediately with every force in his arsenal. 3 barracks right now for Nards, just pumping out strictly Marines. That's going to be a total Marine force. I don't see any tech labs still, so it's not going to be a Simpack timing or anything like that. Might just be brute force Marine attack here, all in. I see Ellimist has 2 stalkers out for defense so far. Getting up a robo bay, so that's a good play. And a photon cannon, so he's going to be trying to prevent any sort of drop play at all. But as we see from Nards' base. He's not going drops at all. He's just looking for just building up a marine force. Don't see any sign of a starport or a factory. Just as I say that, there is a factory going up right now. So he might be predicting this correctly by putting this photon cannon here, thinking that there is going to be a drop. And we do see the scan go down. So Nards knows. Let's see if he can see that. He probably saw that robo bay going up, but not sure if he clicked on it or not to see. But I'm assuming he did. So he'll know that there's robo up and 2 gateways. And we do see the warp gate did finish. So he can turn these gateways into warp gates right after the next production cycle. And here he does that immediately. So, so many Marines. Here goes the tech lab. So probably see stim pack is my guess out of here with just so many Marines. Just going to wait for that stim. And here's a starport going down right now. So it's going to be a stim drop probably. We do see a second factory. So it looks like you can add some siege tanks onto this as well. So a siege tank Marine is going to be very strong against Ellimist here. Ellimist not really going to be ready for this, I don't think. He does have 4 stalkers out, warp gate ready. If he does produce some immortals out of here, that would be a good counter for siege tanks, but no production yet. And we see a Stargate, so a good variety of tech from Ellimist here. The unfortunate thing is if he does start producing Void Rays out of there, like the perfect counter to Void Rays is Marines, and that's going to be really tough to beat. So I'm wrong about the stim pack. We see him going for Combat Shield immediately, so he's just going to try to get 10 points more of 10 more hit points. We do see this base in the middle going down, but Ellimist is going to be able to spot for this. He's just going to see complete Marine army here, and hopefully he'll be able to react accordingly, and he does with these sentries. So looks like by the time the forces get here, each sentry might have up to 2 force fields ready, and he should be able to stop this if he places the force fields correctly. Otherwise he might be in trouble. We see Nards is just waiting for that combat shield to finish before he attacks in, and he might be going in just slightly too early here. He has to be really careful. He really wants that combat shield to finish first before he attacks, but no luck, no patience. He does take on the first sentry. Let's be careful with that second sentry, otherwise he has no force fields. So Ellimist in a little bit of trouble here. Might have too many Marines out, but 6 stalkers should be enough to take care of this. And with those extra hits from the photon cannon, 6 stalkers is more than enough to finish this. So pretty even trade there. Nards losing quite a few Marines, attacking just right before that combat shield was up. So that might have been a little bit of a mistake. If you would have waited, those Marines would have lasted a couple hits longer. So we'll see what Nards follows this up with. We did see that he has 2 factories, and it looks like he is producing 2 siege tanks out of there. It's just going to be a question of whether he gets them out in time before this force of Ellimist comes out and attacks. So it's going to be a little bit of a race here to get those siege tanks out. I'm assuming that the siege tech is finished, but I'm not actually sure on that. I don't see. Oh yeah, both have tech labs, and yeah, we do see that the the siege tank tech is finished. Also 2 medevacs out, so this is gonna be really nice if Nards is able to do a drop. Ellimist's forces are quite a bit out of position here, so if he's able to get a sneaky drop in, but in fact Ellimist has a probe, observer right here, so he's gonna be able to see this coming the whole way. I'm not sure if Nards is going to see kind of he's dropping a couple of Marines. I'm assuming he saw kind of the shimmer of the observer, and he might do a scan here to try to take out this observer, but I'm not sure. Nothing coming out of the Stargate at all yet. Might be saving it for later for Void Rays, but we do see Ellimist is expanding, so that's a great play. He knows he has a little bit of an advantage from taking out all those Marines. He has some time, so he's going to build up his economy with a second base here. And here we see Nards doing the same thing, expanding. They're going to finish pretty much at the same time, so probably not too much of an advantage or disadvantage for either player. We do see Nards has quite a bit of a supply advantage here, but against Protoss, it's a little more standard to have just a slightly higher supply count. 2 siege tanks and 5 marauders, so that's a really strong force against this unit composition from Ellimist. It'd be nice to see if he gets a mortal out from here, but we do see he has a robo bay, so he's getting ready to start producing Colossus, which will be great. We don't see any Vikings or anything from Nards, so looks like there might be a drop coming up here. So we did see that Ellimist put this one photon cannon here, but there's still quite a big area that Nards will be able to drop in. And here comes a drop. I'm not sure if Ellimist spotted this with his observer or not, but it doesn't look like it. Looks like he's going to be able to get all of his forces out of the medevacs before Ellimist sees them. So that's going to be a big trouble for Ellimist. Nards being a little greedy, going pretty close to the base before dropping them off. So it's going to work out for him, but we'll see how quickly Ellimist is able to react to this. Nards doing tons of damage to these probes. That's disheartening for the Protoss, but he lifts up incorrectly and loses both medevacs for free. So that's kind of another even trade there. The problem is Ellimist lost so many so many probes, but Nards lost so many actual fighting units. So kind of an interesting trade there. Not sure who really came out on top there. We do see Nards is starting to mine this base. Ellimist is pretty saturated on this base, probably because he ran all of his probes out there. So he is producing probes on one base, not on the other. That's a really nice photon cannon wall here. So that's going to be really tough to get through. The problem is if those siege tanks are able to siege out without Ellimist seeing, siege tanks can outrange these photon cannons quite easily. So we'll see what happens. But Ellimist does have a couple observers at least, so he should know where, at least when the siege tank pressure is coming. So actually, I'm not sure what happened to both of his observers. They must have both got shot down, but looks like Ellimist is going for a third expansion here. At the same time, Nards is building his, so both players kind of on the same wavelength here, feeling comfortable enough to expand. Both trying to hide their expansions in the exact same place. Oh, I'm sorry. Ellimist is down on the low ground, it looks like, but Nards is up on the high ground. But either way, both those expansions are going to be really hard to spot for their opponent if they don't do any scouting. Now we do see, this is a really powerful force. 6 siege tanks and quite a few marauders. So this is a pretty sick army coming. And 1 Hellion. So the Hellion's not sick, but the rest of the army is pretty sick. So we'll see what happens. 2 medevacs for healing. There's not going to be any drop play. I'm not sure if that observer spotted that force or not, but by the basis of not turning around, I don't think he did. But he's not going to see any forces up here, so he's going to have to feel a little bit suspicious of where Nards' army is. And yeah, we see trying to spot where that is right now, but hopefully he runs into it. Otherwise, he's going to be caught well out of position. And we do see Vikings actually for Nards. Although no oh yeah, we do have 1 Colossus. This could be bad if he gets sieged up, and he does. If he does a scan up the hill here, he's just spawning with the medevacs. That's going to be really tough for Ellimist to take care of this with so many siege tanks. Yeah, it looks like Nards cleans that up. He has to be careful. That photon cannon wall is strong, so he has to be patient, push up with those siege tanks, and it looks like that's what he's doing. Just trying to get those siege tanks into position. He moves one just a little bit too close. Ellimist going to try to pick them off with these stalkers, but